What up, y'all? Big Dave, CHGO Bulls coming up on the show today. Vucevic is retiring from Euroleague. See what I did there? THT might be going to Euroleague. And we're going to break down the Bulls bench rotation and the players box. I promise you, we're doing it today. Come on back. Here go a Katie Smack. CHGO Bulls now on your eyeballs and in your ear holes and in your soul as well. What up? See, we are here. Big Dave, Bow Sports is where you can follow me. This gentleman over here that is perfectly qualified is Will to go Gottlieb. Will_Gottlieb is where you can follow him at. On the ones and twos per usual is Katie Adefe. Hello, Katie. How are you?
Hello, I'm great. How are you?
I am doing well.
We didn't
like
get the
robot. I had things. Before you get to that, I do want to say.
What just happened?
I was just doing that thing because it was very robotic how that was, that exchange.
I was busy.
There's the robot. That's what it means for. But I do want to, again, let you all know that this is the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America, along with CHGO and All City Month of Giving. And you can give. You can donate. And you can donate your time or you can donate financially. You can go to bbbs.org/allcity. That's bbbs.org/allcity if you would like to support and find out how to become a big brother or big sister, or you can donate right here on CHGO Bulls and be like my man Nick, who donated $250 yesterday. You can match that or exceed it. However you're feeling, you can do it. What up, Devin? What up, Ivan? Fish was good with you. Maddie Legend, always a pleasure. Katie, we didn't get an opportunity to have you discuss the news of Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift on the show. So I just want to give you this time to, get off your whatever takes you have about this, how good you feel about that, how bad you feel about it. But the floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a while now. I won't take too much time. I'm very happy for them. Obviously, it's not me who's engaged. But yeah, very happy. Thank you for asking.
Yes, I care. You're very happy too, right?
I'm always happy.
Is that your happy face? This how we roll?
Yeah.
Okay. Looks nice on you. It's a good look.
Thanks.
We're going to discuss the Bulls bench rotation. That's why he's happy.
The bench
We're going to
blob.
get into that. We will get into the bench blob, ladies and gents. We will discuss that and whose minutes we think will be increasing, decreasing, or staying the same, who we think will be coming off the bench, because I believe in my estimation, only 4 players for the Chicago Bulls who I know will definitely be starters. So we will fill that out and filter that out. Also, the U.S. Open. We're going to talk about this. The Bulls players box. What top 5? You only get 5 of them. But what Bulls players, past or present, would you have in that players box? We are definitely going to get into that. But first, let's talk about Vooch, because Vooch is retiring from Euroleague, ladies and gentlemen, after a loss to Great Britain, 87-81. In the FIBA 2025 Eurobasket tournament, Nikola Vucevic has announced his retirement. There's a quote from him. "It sucks for me to finish my year this way. It would have been great to get to the next round and play in Riga, but it is what it is. In the end, I want to thank everyone, my teammates, the coaches, the federation, and especially the fans throughout my career with the national team. I will miss playing for the national team. It was a great honor to play. I wish it could have ended differently. Now it's time for the next generation to leave their mark." Now, Vooch didn't go out sad, I should say, averaging 20 points, 11 rebounds, and 4 assists a game in the tournament. And in that final game against Great Britain, even though Great Britain isn't known as a great team, he still dropped 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 7 assists. So from the start of this Euro basket tournament, Vooch has been cooking, and he's been doing his thing. So it's good to see him actually go out, on top.
Not quite on top because they lost,
but balling
him
like this,
playing
to me, that's
well,
on top.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think it's just, first of all, let me say this. The aggregation of this on Twitter was such an L. It was like a big graphic with Vooch, and it just says retired.
Oh, for real?
And like everybody thought they were talking about him retiring from the NBA.
Oh, man.
Obviously, if you got your reading glasses out and looked at the fine print, you would have seen that it was just talking about his play with, his National League team. So
I see Travis
that threw us for a loop this morning.
Travis McKnight saw that same thing, I see.
I mean, what are we doing here, guys? But yeah, I mean, Vooch, like, it's tough playing, especially for like a smaller Eastern European country where there aren't as many NBA players on it compared to some of the other ones. Like even Serbia has a couple alongside Jokic or guys that have at least like had a cup of coffee in the NBA. So he's been doing a lot of the heavy lifting for that team for a long time. And I think, like, not having spoken to him personally about this, but like I do know a lot of these guys really value their ability to, play and perform for their home nation. Like that means a lot to people. And so I'm sure, he would have liked to go further and just like try to win at a higher level in these tournaments, whether it's the Olympics or Eurobasket or whatever. But yeah, I mean, he's just such a great player and he's so steady. And I think to me, seeing this, like, it's hard not to connect some of the dots with what he said with the Bulls, which is like him thinking a little bit about his basketball mortality. Yeah. And wanting to win, whether that's like, I don't know, he's leaving the door open for that to be with the Bulls, but so like funny. He said at the end of, at the trade deadline, he was expecting a trade. And, he said at the end of the year that, he appreciates his time in Chicago, but like the team is going younger and he wants to win. And like, again, not ruling out that being with the Bulls, but like, I do think that is starting to occur to him more just through his words and actions. And, he's going every summer to play for Montenegro. It's like, that's just a lot of wear and tear on a 35-year-old. So obviously, like, I've gotten to know Vooch decently well over the years, and he's been awesome with us, the media in general, but just like consummate pro. And so I hope that he has a chance to like really win at a high level and invest in that for himself and for his career. But obviously that will be the end of it for his national team. So hopefully that can come in the NBA.
Yeah, it's good to see guys like him like go out like this. This is why I said on top, because having, a 30 ball with 11 rebounds and 7 assists is basically the Vooch, what I'm saying, that we know. That's the all-star Vooch that you get accustomed to, averaging 20 and 11 and 4 assists and shooting well from the three-point line. That's the Nikola Vucevic that you knew from Orlando. That's the one that we saw last year for sure. So it's good to see that continuing, what we saw him do last year, continuing into the Euroleague. There wasn't nothing really changed. Nothing really went down. I mentioned how in shape and how well he looked, out there. Like, he looked like he slimmed down a little bit, and he looked like he was ready to go. And the numbers definitely dictate that. But listening to him while he was talking, he was a little somber, as he should be, about this. Been playing, for his home country for a while. And to know when your time is your time is still a humbling thing, whether you're ready for it or not.
It's a great take.
It's still very humbling that you can't do this anymore, and you know it. Now, some know it and still try to keep doing it and let that dictate for them. Others, like Vooch, kind of see the writing on the wall. And I love his last line where he said, "But now it's time for the next generation to leave their mark." I love that. That's a guy who understands how it should be and how it should go. He's not trying to overstay his welcome too much. He did all he could and left it all out there on the floor. He was talking last game, the previous game that they had, where he had another great, I think he had 23 points and 15 rebounds in that game. He hit 3 or 4 threes with that. But he said, I wasn't going out like that. He said that in that final game. He was like, we weren't going out like that. We were going to continue to play. His focus was, to move on and to get a chance to play even deeper into the EuroLeague tournament. So you love hearing that kind of stuff, man, because it means something to him. And Vooch is, like you said, very professional, very calm, very cool, very collected kind of guy. But when he starts speaking in those kind of terms like that, it's like, okay, there's the dog. You know what I'm saying? There's the basketball dude that wants to win all the time. But yeah, I have nothing but respect for what he's done for his home country. And he plays well for them, man. And I'm sure he'll still be involved in some kind of way, shape or form for sure. But he understands that time on the floor is over for him now. And, you know, he's coming to grips with it.
Yeah. And like I said, I mean, I hope it allows him to invest and focus in getting in the NBA a point where he's winning at a higher level commensurate with the amount of talent that he has. And I think he still does have a lot of talent. Like you're seeing that obviously in Eurobasket, but last year he was really good. I thought he was good, man. The best player on the Bulls all season.
Yeah, really good. Let's move on to this story that dropped today. Courtesy of our guy Pablo Torre on his Pablo Finds Out podcast. He dropped something on there that I laughed at. You know what I mean? When I saw it. I have a thought on it, and I'm very curious to hear Goat break this down. Because this is why I like doing this show. Because I look at it and then I want to go deep into it like I usually do. And then I said, no, you know what? No, I'm going to wait for the GOAT. I want to hear what GOAT's take is on this first. But I'm just going to quote the tweet that was put out by Pablo. Exclusive. Kawhi Leonard signed a $28 million endorsement deal for a no-show job with a fraudulent tree planting company funded by $50 million from the Suns owner Steve Ballmer. Shout out to him. Sources say it was all to circumvent the salary cap. Goat, when I saw this, I had two thoughts. I thought this was brilliant. I thought this was a brilliant thing to do. And the other thought I had was, wait, is this legal or is this skirting the lines or how does this go? And I said, I will leave this to the GOAT. So please, sir, your thoughts on
nothing legal about this. This is as illegal as it gets in terms of the NBA salary cap. And from my understanding of this, and I've watched I didn't watch the whole podcast. I think it was 80 minutes long. Mm-hmm. But I saw a handful of the clips of Pablo explaining it and the extensive reporting that he did.
Yeah, shout out to him.
In finding all this out. But basically my understanding is that when Kawhi initially signed his contract in 2021 with the Clippers, basically he agreed to an endorsement deal with this company, which was funded by Steve Ballmer. And it was supposed to be a marketing endorsement deal where he was supposed to wear the brand apparel and shout it out, put it on his social media and stuff like that. And he just never did. And he's getting $7 million a year over the course of his 4-year contract to basically do what they're saying was, quote, a no-show job. So basically the assumption is that, his LLC, Kawhi's LLC was being paid $7 million a year. And because it was surprising that he would choose the Clippers in free agency, there were teams that were raising a flag about it. And so, Pablo did some really good investigative work, talked to some of the people that used to work at the company. Basically just sounds like they were paying him under the table as a way to basically boost his salary without having it count towards the salary cap. So, there's ethical concerns there. I'm sure there's actual legal concerns there. Mm-hmm. But certainly from a basketball operations and salary cap standpoint, they're paying this guy more money than they're allowed to, more than the max contract, by giving him money under the table so that he comes to the Clippers. And it just doesn't the NBA is now launching an investigation. I don't know what will actually come of it. There's no refutable evidence that Pablo Torre presented. So it's not like I'm saying it's right or wrong, but just based on this report, it's very fascinating. And it makes me wonder, are other teams doing this? Yes. Is it just the Clippers? Yeah. And I'm sure other teams are doing it, but how many players are getting this sort of money and in what capacity? But sort of the lines and the dots that he had to connect to figure this all out. It's hard to imagine a world where this is the only version of this.
So you're saying it's a loophole, but not a legal one?
I'm saying it's just straight up illegal. It's not a loophole. It's
straight up illegal.
Yeah, it's just a breaking of the law. And, Ballmer, or I guess the Clippers put out a statement that said, this is provably false and he did no wrongdoing. So we'll see what happens with the investigation. But certainly the reporting on this is, pretty shocking. And, some of the most interesting basketball reporting that we've had in a really long time.
Like investigative journalism is still a thing, kids. It is still a thing. And when you do it as well as Pablo does it, this is what you kind of get from it. So we'll be looking to see what happens with that, man. When we come back, we are diving into the Bulls bench. We've got a lot of questions that we're going to get to about it. Make sure you drop a comment about that, and make sure you're hitting the like to save yourself your life from Katie. Come on back. She'll get you. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to hear what Chicago sounds like? That's what it sounds like, baby. RC Cola. If you're from here, you need to know what this is. If you ain't spent nights with greasy controllers and joysticks because you were eating pizza and drinking some RC Cola, I question your Chicago. I really do. It's a wonderful drink. It's an amazing drink. And guess what? It's not about the filler. It's not about the fluff. RC Cola is not a soft drink, y'all. It's just a damn good cola, all right? It's the OG cola in a world of spineless soft drinks. Yes, I said it. It's the same bold, crisp flavor that it has always been. RC Cola tastes just like a punch right to the dang on thirst. So do yourself a favor. Grab some RC right at your local store. Stock up for all your end-of-summer parties, back-to-school celebrations, or just watching the game. RC is the move for whatever you're doing because it's RC Cola. RC Cola is Chicago.
All right, athletes, here's the question for you. Are you serious about leveling up your game? Because the right coach can change everything, and now finding one is easy with Eye on the Ball. Eye on the Ball is a marketplace for coaches and players to match up, started by two CHGO diehards, shout out to them. And it doesn't matter if you're a kid who's just starting out or competing at the highest level, you can sign up totally free at eyeontheball.net. All you have to do is create a profile and search through coaches in your sport and connect directly with the one that is right for you. Whether it's soccer or swimming, baseball or basketball, you name it, the coaches are there. So what are you waiting for? Your future could be one click away. Jump on today at eyeontheball.net. That's eyeontheball.net. Find your coach and take your game to the next level.
CHGO Bulls rolling along with y'all, man, on this Wednesday. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Make sure you're hitting the like button. Drop your comments also, and continue to donate to the the big brothers and big sisters of America. Thank y'all for hanging out with us. Big Dave, Will Gottlieb. That's Katie Duffy on production for sure. Let's talk about THT, because as Vooch retires from the Euroleague, we've heard that THT may be going to the Euroleague, sir. So it's been reported that THT may be finalizing a deal with the 2025 Euroleague champions, nonetheless, Fenerbahce Istanbul. Shout out to me for understanding that pronunciation. So what is being reported, what was reported was he's got basically a couple options. He can keep the NBA contract, or try to find another team, to land with if it doesn't happen with the Bulls or something like that. Or he can sign this EuroLeague contract, go over and play with the EuroLeague champs who, like I said, won that title. Two questions. Which one do you feel is going to happen? And what does this mean for the Bulls in their roster spot?
I think this is happening. I mean, there doesn't really seem to be another option for him in the NBA. He's bounced around a bunch over the last couple of years. And I was not like a big THT fan coming into last season, but he really did impress me.
Oh, he was your guy.
Both on the court and off the court. He was awesome to deal with. Super nice, super willing to talk with the media and just like good vibes. But also he's certainly a bucket, yes. But that's like his first, second, and third choice of decision, he's going to get his own. Nothing wrong with that. And it actually ended up coming in handy. And as we lead into our discussion about the bench, he was kind of a featured piece of Billy Donovan's bench last year. So as far as his NBA career and future, I'm sure that he will be somebody that teams look at late in the season if there's injuries, coming over on a prorated deal, or maybe he gets a buyout or something like that. Maybe just spends a year or two in Europe playing, internationally. But certainly a talented player. He's still young. It wouldn't surprise me if eventually he's back in the NBA.
Yeah.
But for the Bulls, they have one roster spot available right now, and that's for Josh Giddey. So there's just no spot for him with Chicago. And then most of the other teams are pretty much like a lot of the business has been done as far as this offseason goes. So, like last year, Lonnie Walker came back and like played a handful of games with the 76ers towards the end of the season. And I could see that similar situation happening with THT next year. If there's a team that has a bunch of injuries, runs out of two-way spots, has to like cut somebody, runs out of 10-day contract, something like that, and he comes over and just like eats some innings down the stretch for a team that's kind of out of it. So, again, really enjoyed him and his presence on the Bulls beat last year. But unfortunately, just didn't seem like there was, it's like kind of the musical game of musical chairs was up and there wasn't a chair left.
Yeah, great analogy on that. I really enjoyed THT's time here, man. Like he gave some much needed energy and positivity towards this Bulls team. The energy part, and it wasn't expected. I'm sure Billy Donovan didn't expect it. Didn't think he would, go off like he would, but there were definitely moments in time. There were minutes on the floor where he was the best player on the floor for the Chicago Bulls. That happened. We watched that go down. And creating his own shot, when the three-point shot was falling, that's when you knew he was going to be cooking for sure. But like you said, he's a bucket, man. Like that's what he does. His one-on-one game is awesome. And I think going out there to the Euroleague will allow him to further that. Getting that chance, to have the ball in his hands, and getting those opportunities just to cook. I don't think he's going to come up short at all in that kind of situation, bro.
He's probably going to be making more money too. Like those teams are able to pay their top guys. Yeah. It's not anywhere close to NBA money, but it's maybe like $5-7 million to be like the number one guy on a big Euro club. That's much more than the veterans minimum in the NBA. So like it's an opportunity for him to make some money. We saw that with Jabari Parker too, going to Real Madrid and playing at a really high level and probably making more money than he would have in the NBA. So I think it's a really good option. And, we saw this with Gershon Yabusele last year, where in the Olympics he played really well and bought himself out of his contract and then signed a deal with the 76ers. And, now he's a staple in the NBA. Like he's signed a new contract with the Knicks this summer and he's going to be an NBA player. So I would hardly say that this is like it for THT in the NBA. He's still really young. I think he's like only 24, 25.
Yes, very young.
So I imagine he will get another chance, but this could be a really good opportunity for him to really be the guy on a team and probably make some more money.
Nothing wrong with none of that, man. All right, since that we're talking about a bench Bulls player, how about we take the temp on the Chicago Bulls bench in our segment called Taking the Temp. Taking the temp on the Bulls. This is my Michael McDonald voice. Hey. 4 Seasons, heating, air conditioning, plumbing, and electric. Make sure you go to 4 Seasons, heatingcooling.com, because for all the right reasons, 866 4 Seasons. Yes. Katie, that's killing. That's killing right there. Let's take a look at the Bulls bench, man.
Katie's just shaking her head like her dad embarrassed her.
Oh, man.
And she was in high school.
That's literally
and her friends were over.
Exactly what just happened.
And
good.
That was that was
give us some more time. Oh, that means now that I know I can, like, why would I stop?
Anyway, here's the graphic.
Why would I stop like that? Here's the bench blob. 2000.
Katie, did you choose bench blob as a play on the bench mob?
I sure did, Will Gottlieb. Thank you.
Very clever. Very clever. Very smart. I was also thinking there's also kind of a pun in there, like they're so blah. They're blob.
Ooh.
So you could have
I think
incorporated that somehow.
The best part of a joke is when you explain it in detail to everybody that heard it.
That's the jam.
I'm just trying to embarrass you.
Because I did that for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to,
You want to add
insult to injury.
Yeah, I'm over there.
Let's talk about the bench blob.
Let's get into it, sir. There it is right there on your screen. You see the expected reserves for the Chicago Bulls. We put Isaac Okoro on this list because there are literally only 4 Bulls that we know are set in stone to start. Giddey, Kobe, Modest, and Nikola Vucevic.
Can I interject here?
Please.
I'm 95% sure Modest is going to start. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just
Why
not.
aren't you 100%
I'm just not.
sure?
I don't know.
I'm just leaving.
I'm leaving 5% there because
is this just you
I
want
just
to cause chaos? Is this what
maybe a little bit? Maybe a little bit. But right. I also just think like Billy had him on a very tight leash last year.
Okay.
And I think just because he played well down the stretch doesn't mean that leash is now gone.
Okay.
So if he doesn't play well, I think he'll probably be the favorite to be the starter.
Sure.
And again, 95% sure he will be. Just guessing. But I'm leaving the door open a little bit. Like, to me, the guys who are guaranteed in pen to start is Kobe, Giddey, and Vooch. And outside of that, I'm fairly confident it's going to be Modest. I have no clue who it's going to be at small forward, but I just want to put that out there.
If he's not starting, it's a failure all around. Why you want to take me down? I don't even want to get into that, man. Modest is starting, all right?
Okay.
That is what's going to happen. He is starting. So, but looking at that list of guys who will be coming off the bench,
The list of the bench blob?
the list of the bench
about?
blob,
Okay.
coined by one Catherine Duffy. If you see that list, obviously Ayo Dosunmu is the guy that I'm looking at, who I'm like, oh yeah, that's the guy who will be in the game often and for sure. Isaac Okoro, his minutes could fluctuate. We don't really know. But Kevin Huerter is a guy that also stands out to me. So I think those three guys, when I'm thinking of the bench, will be the first three kind of off the bench for the Bulls. Do you see it a little differently?
I agree. I would also put Trey Jones in that mix. Just because he was the one person that they committed to this offseason. And Billy loved him. So, and we also know he's going to have to play a lot of three-guard lineups with this roster. So I think one of those three will be starting at the three, or, move Giddey to the three and have them in the backcourt, whatever it may be. We saw Huerter start a lot of games down the stretch. We saw Trey Jones start some games. Obviously, Ayo started some games. And I brought this up in a chat that I did last week in our Die Hard Discord.
Flex.
Which we do every single week.
Flex.
For you guys who are not diehards, you should consider that, because we're always in there chatting and answering questions.
Yeah.
But one of the things I noted was that I think that the whole thing about like 9 or 10 good players and playing with depth is all fun and games, and that's like ideal how you should be doing your roster, especially during the regular season. But in the meaningful games, Billy Donovan shows his true colors. And so you look at who was available to him in the play-in, which is what it is in terms of how meaningful that actually is, but I digress. The starters, Modest, 35 minutes. Vooch, 38 minutes. Kobe, 42 minutes. Huerter, 32 minutes. Giddey, 40 minutes. Off the bench, you had three players playing more than 5 minutes. And as you'll recall, the Bulls lost by 19 in that game, so there was some extended garbage time. Patrick Williams, 15 minutes. Dalen Terry, 13 minutes. Talen Horton-Tucker, who we just discussed, 16 minutes. Now, Trey Jones, Ayo Dosunmu, Lonzo Ball, now turned into Isaac Okoro. None of those guys were in the rotation, and I think they will have something to say for those bench minutes. But to me, Huerter getting 32 minutes in a start tells me something, and that is that Billy is going to play him and that he likes what he brings. So I think he'll be in that mix. I think Ayo will be in that mix, and I think Okoro and Trey Jones will as well.
If I'm holding your feet to the fire, which I am,
okay,
and you had to choose between Kevin Huerter and Isaac Okoro with who Billy Donovan will go for at the start of the season, game one, which one of those guys would it be?
Ayo Dosunmu.
Who the Manolancer actually agrees with you, and Fish actually says Ayo Dosunmu. He says, I'm thinking Ayo starting at the three. I think it's Kevin Huerter. I think Kevin Huerter will be the starter. You had your most success with Kevin Huerter as your starter. He's part of that 17-10 that the Bulls did. You look like your most fun self, your best self out there with Kevin Huerter. Now, I'm not saying it's like I'm, a Kevin Huerter disciple or anything like that, but the Red Velvet was doing Red Velvet things out there on the floor. And anytime you can help guys, especially your coach, find a way to get a win, then you're going to have to go with that. Isaac Okoro is still an unknown. He's still kind of an unknown right now for Billy Donovan. Now, when training camp starts, that might, be flushed out and change, because you definitely are going to need defense out there on the floor. But I'm just saying, the way the Bulls look with that starting five and Kevin Huerter in it, I think that is definitely in the back of Billy's mind. And that comfort that he can bring you from a guy that is going to cook for you on some nights when you had your best time in that second half of the year. I don't know. I think Kevin Huerter might be the one, man, and Isaac Okoro might be coming off.
And I absolutely think that's a possibility. I would probably choose him second over Okoro and over Trey, just because, as Travis points out in the comments, Huerter helps Giddey the most. Offensively, I think that's true. I think he provides spacing. The movement shooting is something I've been talking about for years, really stressing the importance of that. And he's also an underrated like decision maker and playmaker with the ball in his hands. Like he's not, elite at that, but like he's pretty good. And that adds an element of, a dynamic floor spacer and decision maker that can help break down defenses. Now, the one place I will respond is Giddey, Kobe, Vooch, and Huerter together. Defensively, that is not something that will sustain long term. And so Ayo, to me, and the reason why I say Ayo is because I think he gives you the best of both worlds where, he's not an elite shooter, but he can shoot. He is really good at pushing the tempo and playing to the Bulls style. And he's probably the best combo of offense and defense of any player on the roster. And maybe Okoro has something to say about that. I just haven't seen him play in the Bulls system yet.
I got stuff to say about that, but I'll discuss it after the break. And also, we are going to find out whose minutes increase, decrease, and stay the same. Come back. Hit the like button now.
What's in the players? Whatever the sport, the app to bet is Circa Sports, Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. We are talking not a one AI chatbot to drive Matt Peck into insanity. You can bet on all your favorite teams. Chicago Bears coming up next week. In every single game this season, they got spreads, they got props, they got futures, they got live lines. Circa Sports has it all, so you can fund and bet like a pro anywhere, anytime in the great state of Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circasports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Overpaying for property taxes is something too many Cook County residents are doing. Hello. And you don't have to be one of them, ladies and gentlemen. And that's why there is Own Well. Because in Cook County, appeal windows vary by township, close to rapidly, and are very, very difficult to win. Let Own Well experts ensure you're prepared for when it starts. You like that? Sign up in under 3 minutes, and their team of local experts and cutting-edge technology can start saving you money with no upfront cost. Put property tax money back in your hip pocket in just minutes. No stress, no big-time investments. 86% of Own Well customers receive a reduction with an average of $1,102 saved. That is awesome. Oh, no upfront costs, savings, or free guarantee. Only pay if you save. Save money on your Cook County property taxes with Own Well. Sign up in less than 3 minutes and start your appeal today at ownwell.com/cook. That's OWNWELL.com/cook. CHGO Bulls, y'all. Hanging out with you. Big Dave, Will Gottlieb, Katie on production. Just real quick, I wanted to say about Ayo. I just feel he's a bench guy. I don't feel he'll be starting. I just feel the bench for Ayo Dosunmu. I feel like that's where you get the most out of him. Now, if there's an issue,
hater.
I feel like if there's an issue, it's a problem or anything like that, for sure, you can put him in there as a starter. But I'm talking to my man Fish when I'm saying this. But yeah, man, I want him on the bench. I feel he's like a blanket, man, like a comfortable blanket coming off that bench. You're like, oh man, stuff's going wrong. Let me look to that bench. Oh, there go Ayo. All right, come on in here and do your thing. Get us back in order. And I think that's a superpower that Ayo has coming off the bench. And it doesn't matter where he is going to play, whether it's the 1, whether it's the 2, or whether it's the 3 when he's coming off that bench. He's going to definitely help the Bulls when he steps on that court.
Well, I think that's kind of the interesting piece is you look at the bench and there are a lot of guys here and a lot of guys that deserve to play.
Sure.
And I think really putting aside the center spot, it's going to be a lot of versatility, right? And so you think about, obviously it's not going to be hockey line changes, but you want to have a bench that has a cohesive identity. And I think Trey Jones and, Okoro and Ayo together is good, but there's just not a lot of floor spacing. And so that would be my concern with having Huerter in the starting lineup and why it probably does make some sense. Now, again, I don't think you can really go wrong because I don't think any of these guys are far superior than the other. It's just that they have different strengths and weaknesses. And so how Billy decides to sort of formulate that with the bench in mind, I think is an interesting thing. So I feel confident saying that Trey Jones is going to be on the bench and that he's going to be sort of that steady facilitator, table setter guard. I feel very confident that Zach Collins is going to be the backup center. That was the case last year after the trade, pushing Jalen Smith out of the rotation. And I think in the middle, you kind of have this morass. And you have guys like Okoro, you have obviously Huerter, whichever of those guys don't end up starting. Io is in that mix. I think Patrick Williams will be in that mix. Hopefully Noah Asenge gets to a point where he's in that mix.
Yes.
But you also have Dalen Terry and Julian Phillips. There's so many guys, and like maybe they do decide to go a little bit bigger and have Jalen Smith play some 4. I think that's something that they should try out just because like the league is getting taller. You're seeing a lot of 2 big lineups now, especially in the playoffs. So I don't know exactly which combination will work the best, but I do think that Billy has a lot of options when it comes to finding the right fits so that the bench can still maintain the identity that he wants to play with even when the starters are out.
Great point. I think also having Isaac Okoro coming off the bench also just gives you a different look. And I think that's the good thing about your bench, as you know, Goat, is you want them obviously to maintain what's going on out there on the floor, but you don't need it to be the exact same thing that your starters are giving you. And I think that having Isaac Okoro, who is a defensive guy, you know, and definitely a spot-up shooter who has his ups and downs in that kind of way, kind of gives you that. You know, he gives you that option. He gives you that versatility. Being 6'5", knowing you can play him at the 2 or the 3, knowing you have Ayo Dosunmu who can play the 2, the 1, the 2, or the 3, knowing you got Trey Jones who was going to be your for sure, you know, point guard in your 1. You mentioned even putting Zach Collins at the 4 and doing it like that. Like having Isaac Okoro, though, I feel really helps those options and allows you to have better options because you don't have to worry about him on one end of the floor. As much as you can give Billy to not worry about, he's going to take, and he should, you know, as a head coach. And Okoro is one of those guys who gives you something you don't have to worry about. So when you're bringing him in off the bench, not worried about the defensive side anymore or who he's going to be guarding. You find out who's that best player at that time for the opposing team, and you're like, Isaac, you know, go handle your business on there. And then on the offensive side, you know you're going to have Ayo Dosunmu running. You already know Trey Jones can run an offense for sure. We already seen that. That's why he, you know, got that 3-year deal with it. But the wild cards, and we haven't really just touched them or gotten into it too much, but those wild cards are Julian Phillips, Dalen Terry, and I will put Patrick Williams in there as well as wild cards. What are you going to get from those 3? Because that will answer a huge question for the Bulls bench right there. If Dalen is stepping up and doing his thing, if Julian Phillips kind of ascends, if Patrick Williams shows some form, you know, of being the player we've seen in that first 2 years of him in the league, then you got yourself a stew going coming off your bench because there are a lot of things and a lot of questions that you don't have to worry about anymore if those guys are going to be consistent in their play. Now, it's a big question. It's definitely going to be answered as the season goes and as the rotation goes because we don't know what it is yet, but it's definitely one I think that if it's answered, the Bulls might have something off that bench.
Yeah, and I think that's like a strength of theirs.
Yeah.
And something that they want to be a strength of theirs. Like the depth thing and like the 9 to 10 good players, I know that was something that like justifiably I think we like picked at when AK said it, but like that is something that you see a lot of teams trending towards.
Yeah.
And the Bulls are now in a position where they have a lot of guys. But I think when you are starting to try to divvy up those minutes, what you realize is that these guys are role players. None of them are like star or like, you know, secured starter caliber of players. And I know we're going to go through and sort of see if we think guys are going to have over or under minutes. But yeah, I just think it's like interesting to think about it in the sense of like, yeah, you have depth, but you still need, I think, one more key piece on the wing in particular to slot whoever you have as starter at the 3 down to the bench. So now you're looking at a really strong bench with, you know, Io, Trey, Okoro, and Huerter, and not only 3 of those guys. Now, maybe all those guys don't fit because there's not really a power forward in there. There's really not even a true 3 because I think Okoro is more of a 2-3 than a pure 3. And certainly, like, with Modest being as slight as he is and Noah being as slight as he is, you want someone that can even go 1 through 4, which they don't have. And so I still think that should be the priority, but having that kind of depth, I think, is a real strength that like AK was ahead of the curve on. He knew that was going to be a trend that we started seeing in the NBA, and that has been the case. And so the question is just like, how do you maximize that? And I think what's interesting is now you have your 4 starters that I think we're both confident in. Kobe, Giddey, Modis,
Well, you're
and
not
Vooch.
confident in one of them, but yeah.
I'd say 95% is confident. And then you have 4 more that you feel confident in being part of the rotation. That's Trey, Io, Huerter, and Okoro. So that's 8 players.
Yeah.
You have Collins as your backup, center is 9. And then
The wild card.
the wild card spot.
Yeah.
Because I think 10 is probably what the number is going to end up being. But yeah, like the depth piece is there. And I think that will be a strength of the Bulls, which is really a good thing because they want to play fast. They want to wear teams down.
Yeah.
And so having a deep rotation of guys that can really play to that style, I think will allow them to have games like they did at the end of last season where they're just wearing teams down and running them out of the gym and then coming back into games. So I think that can be a really good thing. It's just a matter of who steps into that starting spot and pushes everybody else down. Ideally, you want that to be Noah, but I just think it's going to be a while before he's ready.
Okay. Well, let's go into that, man. Let's talk about the minutes off this bench and who we think the minutes are going to increase, decrease, or stay the same for. The wonderful Katie is going to read the names of the Bulls players and also the minutes they had last year. Am I correct, Katie?
Correct.
Also the minutes they had last year, and Goat and I will say which one we feel will increase, decrease, or stay the same. So, Katie, after you.
Yeah, so let's start with the players that were on the team last year, and then we
Sure.
can get into like Isaac and some other people. So Aya Dosunmu, 30.3 minutes per game last season. Dave, increase, decrease.
30 minutes. He was averaging 30 a game. Wow, I didn't know that. I'm gonna say if it's all healthy, I'm gonna say decrease slightly. I'm saying a slight decrease from 30.
I think I'm going to go with a slight decrease too, just because like I don't think anybody at the 3 is going to be playing 30 minutes a game. And it's not a real knock, but I think like you're probably going to get 30 at least from those 4 starters. And then everybody else is going to play like between 20 and 30.
Okay.
So I'd say odds are on the under for that.
Okay.
And even he played 2 games last year post All-Star break before his injury and played only 25.4 minutes. So only 2 games, small sample size, but 30.5 minutes per game before the break, and in just 2 games, 25 minutes. So yeah, we'll see if that is a trend that continues.
Okay. Me and Goat agree. All right.
Dalen Terry,
Oh, we going there already?
13.5 minutes per game last season.
As one of the members of the Dalen Terry fan club, I will say, though, I do think the minutes will decrease for Dalen. He has a chance for them to increase or even stay the same. He has a chance of it. But with the guys, with the roster as it is off the bench, and I think just even with Essengay and even with Patrick Williams, you know what I'm saying, now for sure, in my opinion, coming off the bench, it's going to kind of move him to the side a little bit, man. And being as so full as they are at the point guard position, like all that stuff kind of just leads me to believe there'll be a decrease in his minutes.
Yeah, I totally agree. Last year, 12.6 minutes before the break. After the break, in 24 games, he played 15 and a half minutes. We know about all the injuries to Trey and Io and Lonzo after the All-Star break, and so that allowed him to get into a bigger role. The caveat I will say is this.
Okay.
It depends on the Bulls' like intentions. Are they a team that's really going for the playoffs again?
Okay.
I would imagine so. But let's say there's some, unfortunate injuries that they come across. I think that's how you end up with Dalen getting over in minutes. So I think like his minutes per game might end up looking higher than that, but like his games played, I think will be fewer than 73, which is what they were last year. Like I think
true.
he's going to be out of the rotation, and if he is playing more minutes, it's because there was an injury or a big trade that signaled a change in direction.
All right. We're 2 for 2.
Kevin Huerter,
Kevin Huerter.
30 minutes per game.
Oh, decrease. Yes, there will be a decrease in that for the reasons Goat stated previously. Like it will be unfortunately at the beginning, I think will be a revolving door at the 3. until they can really figure out whose spot that really is. And so because of that, I think, I don't think he'll be seeing 30 minutes a game.
Yeah, so last year he played 20.8 minutes per game pre-All-Star break. That was obviously while he was still on the Kings, and struggled, did not shoot the ball well, 29% on threes. Comes over to the Bulls, plays 31.5 minutes per game, shoots 40% on threes in 23 games, started 16 of them. I agree it will be a decrease in minutes. I think it'll probably be in the like 24 to 28 range, depending on the night. I certainly think he will be a fixture of the rotation and somebody that is not dependent on injuries.
Agreed.
But I think just fitting all those guys in is going to be tough. I also think, like, look, he's not going to probably shoot, 59.4 true shooting. And so if his...
You doubt the velvet.
If his shooting isn't that hot, and that could go for guys like Trey, who shot incredibly well with the Bulls, could go for, a handful of guys, like their minutes are just going to go down. And so I think if you start at the baseline of, are you seeing some of their best basketball they've ever played, then I'm just going to probably take the under, because I just think it's hard to improve on the best you've ever done.
That's pretty good. 3 for 3. Let's do it. I like it.
Speaking of Trey Jones, 25.3 minutes per game.
20. I'm gonna say stays the same. I think it'll stay the same for Trey Jones. When they gave him that contract, that let me know what they really thought about him. And Billy Donovan definitely really likes him and what he brings to the team. I think he will be the first point guard, like true point guard, I'm saying, off the bench, not one to come in and, just replace a 1 or 2 or 3, strictly coming in to replace that one. And he would keep that going. So I wouldn't be surprised if I saw an increase also in his minutes if it keeps up that way. But I'm going to say stays the same.
Yeah, I again agree.
Let's go.
He played 25.3 with the Bulls last year, 26.8 after the All-Star break. I think it's going to be hard to get like Giddey 30-plus minutes and Trey Jones like 28 minutes a game. So I think like it will be in the range of 25. If you like force me to make a pick, I'd probably go under, but I do think it will be around 24, 25.
So it stays the same for you too?
Yeah.
All right.
Same.
Me and go. Lockstep. Let's hit it.
Zach Collins, 19.7 minutes per game.
Oh, I'm going to say...
talk about Zach Collins for some reason.
Yeah.
Did you forget he was on the team?
Well, no, I just kind of feel like the center rotation is going to be Vooch and Collins. And so it's going to be like 48 minutes minus whatever Vooch plays is going to be how many Collins plays.
Yeah. I think it will be an increase because of Vooch's, getting a little older. I think that he'll have more opportunity out there on the floor. I don't think it's going to be a huge increase, but I do think it'll be a slight increase in those minutes because, as you mentioned, like he's the backup center. I think that's what it is. And they like what he brings, when he gets on the floor as far as the toughness, the rebounding that he provides, the hard screens that he sets, and the physicality that he can get out there. That sounds like a good bench center to me. And I think that, with Vooch being a little bit older, I think that his minutes, Zach Collins, will increase.
What was the over-under?
19.
19.7.
Thank you.
That's pretty spot on. I'd probably take the under. Vooch played 31 a game last year. After the break, he played a little bit less. He played 28.7.
Okay.
Collins played 19.7 minutes per game with the Bulls, and that included 8 starts in games where Vooch didn't play. And
he did foul out early in one of them.
He did foul out early in one of them. So that actually brought his average down compared to what he was playing, which was like in the high 30s in those games where Vooch was out. So I would take the under. I think it's going to be 17, 18 minutes a game, not by much in terms of how far away from that line it will be. I just think Vooch is going to be a 30, 32-minute a night player, and I think Collins will fill in the rest of those minutes.
Our first disagreement.
It was bound to happen.
Yes.
All right. You said.
I said increase. I said slightly increase.
Slight increase. Okay.
Yeah,
I said slight decrease. I don't think we're that far apart.
It's all right. Way to bring us back. Yeah. Go ahead, Kate.
Never a doubt.
Well, let's get into the other center on the roster, Jalen Smith, 15 minutes a game.
Decrease.
I think that was quick.
Yeah, for the reasons we just stated. He'll be more, I feel, just trying to figure it out. Like, they're going to, try some things, I think, with him. I think you might see him at the 4 on some games. I think when they run a small ball lineup, he might be the center in that as well. But I don't see him getting a ton of minutes anymore. I think it will be a decrease.
Yeah, I think he's going to be on the outside looking in of the rotation. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he just doesn't play. Mm-hmm. So I'm going under.
There it is.
All right, Julian Phillips, 14.2.
I'm going with my heart, and I'm going to say increase. I'm going to say increase strictly on that. I want to see more of him. I really think he's going to have a better season, and he's going to get opportunity. Like, I really feel more than Dalen, I think Billy is going to give him a sliver more of opportunity to see what he can do.
What was the number again?
14.2.
14.2. I think I'm going to go under for the same reasons I went with Dalen. I just think there's too many guys in that wing room, too many guys that are guards that are going to need to play the three because they're better. Mm-hmm. And I think it will take some injuries for him to get into the rotation. So same thing with Dalen. Like I think his games played will go down.
Yeah.
If his minutes per game go up, it's because there's been an injury.
Yeah.
Javon Carter, 8.9.
A decrease.
Yep, same. I just
yeah.
Same with Jalen Smith. I just don't think he's going to be in the rotation.
Yeah.
If he is, it's because of an injury.
Yeah.
Two-way contract guy, Emmanuel Miller, 4.2.
Decrease. I think it'll be less than that. Big blowout.
Yeah, I don't see any of those two-way guys getting minutes.
Yeah.
All right, here's the big one. We'll try to keep it quick, but Patrick Williams, 25.
25? Decrease. I think you will see a decrease in Patrick Williams' minutes this season for what you saw him doing last season with those 25 minutes. There will be a decrease. And he won't be starting as much. So, in my opinion. Decrease.
Yeah. Last year, 26 minutes per game. Pre-All-Star break, 22.1. Afterwards, as a starter, he played 27 minutes. Off the bench, he played 22.5. I would take the under. I think it's going to be closer to 20 this year. Mm-hmm. I think if he plays well, he'll have a chance to earn it back. But based on the way that things trended and based on the fact that they continue to bring in forwards ahead of him in the rotation, I think his days of like 28, 30 minutes a game are dwindling.
It's a wrap.
We can save Noah and Lachlan and Yuki for another time, but gut reaction.
Whatever it is, I'm taking the under on all three of those.
Gut reaction, how many minutes a game is Isaac Okoro going to play, Dave?
How many minutes a game? What did I say? Did I say increase or decrease?
We didn't pick for
Oh, we didn't do him.
So just to give you guys a quick rundown.
So, because he played 19 last year.
That's what I was going to say. Last year, 19 minutes. Year before that, 27. Year before that, 21.7. Year before that, 29.6. Rookie year, 32.4. So he's been trending down his entire career.
I think with this team, he might get a chance to get more minutes. So I'm going to say increase. Slight. Like maybe 20 minutes a game for him.
Yeah, I would say like 20 to 24 minutes will be his range. So over theoretically, but it will be below his career average of 26.
There it is. Increase for both.
Yeah.
All right. Well done, GOAT. I'm proud of you. Way to bring us back.
We only disagreed
just on a couple and slightly.
And very slight.
Yeah, very slight. Very slight.
Very slight. I want to see if we disagree though on what's in the box.
Oh, what's in the box?
What's in the box?
What's in the box?
This is Katie's pet project.
Yes.
She's been thinking about this for years.
Yes. Decades.
And she asked us to put together our group of 5 Bulls players, past or present, that we would have cheering for us if we were playing in a tennis match. Does it have to be in a specific open or?
No.
I don't know anything about tennis. Let me just preface this by saying.
Okay, so it's which 5 Bulls, former or current, would you invite to cheer you on from your players box? Also, I have not been thinking about this for years. I've been thinking about it for like 3 days. So let's get that straight.
3 decades, yes.
3 days. Who would like to go first?
Oh, I'll go first. No big deal.
Big Dave.
Okay.
So let me let you know how I came to this, though.
Do you want me to show it to you first?
No.
Okay.
I
all right.
walk
Go
you
ahead.
through this.
Go ahead.
So here's my thing. Here's something about me. I have a large family. Love y'all. And when we go to events to support each other, my family has elegance and grace. But when we walk up, we loud. All right? We loud in our support for each other. It is all love. And we are going to give you everything in us when it's our family member out there doing whatever they're doing. We are going to cheer, and we are going to be loud about it. You know, even my mother, who was the most elegant person I've ever met in my life, when it came to the sports, loud. You know what I mean? We're cheering. That's what we're doing, and that's what we're going to do. So I wanted guys in the box for me who I knew would represent that and be loud and give me that energy that I needed. So let's take a look. All right, there we go.
Some names I was not expecting.
There is Norm Van Leer. There is Cliff Levingston. Good news. There's main man Daniel Gafford, of course. Joakim Noah, for sure. And Jalen Rose. Now, Jalen Rose is kind of like the cool uncle, you know what I'm saying, of the group. So he going to be talking trash and everybody sitting down. He going to be saying, funny jokes to everybody, keeping everything tight. Daniel Gafford is just going to be pure energy. Pure energy right there is what I need. Of course, Joakim Noah got to be there. That's the international man. And the energy that he is going to give. Cliff Levingston was everybody's favorite teammate. That's why his nickname is Good News, which Horace Grant granted me the nickname of Good News also. And shout out to him for that. That was a great moment in my life. And Norm Van Leer. Because it ain't going to be all fun and games. We're trying to win, all right? And Norm Van Leer is definitely going to give you that intensity when he's yelling at you out there on the floor. So he might be cheering you on, but he's going to be yelling what you're doing wrong too and what you need to get better at as well. And that's why my starting five is going to carry me to victory.
I love it.
Thank you, sir.
I love it. And I guessed yesterday that we would all have somebody in common, and I feel better about the guess that I made, which was Joakim Noah, because he is also in mine, Katie, if you don't mind throwing it up. I went with a kind of hilarious combination of players, okay? As you can see on the graphic, and I'll just give you a quick reasoning why. Joakim Noah, his father, Yannick, tennis legend, he's going to know about the game. He's going to be able to help me out. And he's also going to bring the intensity,
Fair point.
The fire.
Great point.
I chose Vooch because I've been one to criticize Vooch's play from time to time, and I am sure that he would love the opportunity to criticize mine. So I wanted to give him that. I wanted to,
That's
if I can dish it out.
This specific player, picture of him too, because it looks like he's disappointed in you.
If I can dish it out, I got to be able to take it, and I'm sure Vooch would give me a hard time about that, which I would welcome. Michael Jordan, obviously, who would not want the GOAT cheering for them?
Yeah.
He would either be like smacking me upside the head like Malik Monk, or just sitting back in the box smoking a cigar. And either way, I would be very happy about that. Jimmy Butler, I feel like I just saw in a clip like playing tennis with somebody. So he's got to have some tips and tricks for me. To like know what I'm doing, because as I mentioned before, I don't know anything about tennis and I'm not good at it. And then finally, James Johnson, because if anybody tries to step to me in the wrong way, James Johnson is going to have my back, and you do not want to mess with him. So
that's fair.
He's there for security purposes.
That's very fair. That's very fair. Was there anybody who you had who didn't make your cut?
I was struggling to come up with the last. I came up with Joakim, Jimmy, and Vooch very quickly. I was struggling with the last couple, so no.
I definitely had several.
All right. Before you get to honorable mentions, we should give Katie a chance.
Absolutely, Katie's for sure.
Yeah, so
since this is her baby, she's been thinking about for 3 decades.
This is true.
Will, I swear to God.
Just go.
I didn't I just went gut reaction on mine. So mine is kind of a mix of you guys. Obviously Joakim. I went with Michael Jordan. I was very surprised, Dave, you did not go with Michael Jordan. That was shocking.
Mike, I need the energy. Mike's too cool.
Yeah, but mean, that's just the most amazing clout in the world to have Michael Jordan in your box.
That's fair. But I'm focused on winning.
Jimmy Butler, obviously, and then Dalen Terry. I just wanted, number one, a current player, and number two, I feel like everybody in that box is going to have the most fun of their life if Dalen Terry is in there.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Kirk Heinrich, because he's my favorite. So.
Yeah. Not mad at none of that. I'm not mad at none of that. But that's the only reason. Like, Mike was the first name I wrote down in my head. It was like, oh no, Mike's gonna be there for sure.
I mean, the idea of
I need yelling and
some more fire
with it, man. Like I want all of that stuff, man. And Mike, he'll give it to you. You know what I mean? But he ain't gonna give it all to you. Mike is gonna be chilling. You know what I mean, with that cigar and everything like that. Like the approving or disapproving father.
I agree. Continue. We're seeing a bunch of these in the comments. Continue to throw your 5 in there that you'd want supporting you. For a tennis match. But what were the other honorable mentions you had?
For me, I had Tyson Chandler.
Okay.
I was going to put him in, you know what I mean, for him. Nate Robinson was another one I had, and I thought about that.
Great one, yeah.
I thought that would be a great one. And, of course, the legend, Matt Thomas, was going to be in the
I was
box,
honestly
baby. Matty
surprised.
Legend was going to be there, baby.
I was surprised not to see him on your list.
It hurt. It hurt to my soul to not be able to put him in there, man. I really wanted to do that, but alas, we'll just settle for him being the greatest shooter in the world.
Alas.
It's a real stat. It happened. Thank y'all for enjoying this, man. Thank y'all for watching this, laughing with us, thinking with us, and learning with us as well. We will be putting this up on social for sure. So make sure you have your opinions about your top 5 that you would have in your players box. Hit that like button on the way out. Thank y'all for joining us. We will be back tomorrow. That is Katie on production. Will the GOAT Gottlieb is right there. Bow. I am Big Dave. We will see you all mañana. Matt Thomas, you're the greatest shooter in the world. Peace.
We all silly like the mayor.